Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing something a bit old school, and that is a what's on my Google Pixel 5. So a lot of people who watch this channel are really interested in the Pixel 5, so I thought it would be cool just to show you how I've got things set up on my phone, the different apps that I like to use, and just do a bit of a laid back old school style of video. Let's get straight into it. So starting off with my phone home screen, the wallpaper that I'm using is actually a photo that I took myself of the Shard in London. I've got a few more photos like this on my Instagram profile, so if you think it looks cool, then I'd recommend you check out my profile at JenkinsYT. And then the apps that I have on my home screen is pretty simple and standard stuff. I like a pretty clean layout, which is why I've only got one layer of apps at the bottom, and then the time and date and weather at the top. So starting from left going right, I have a Google folder in here, pretty standard stuff, just Google Photos, Google Maps, Google News and Keep Notes, which is what I use just to make quick notes on my phone. Then I've got a social folder with a few social media apps such as WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter and Strava. Nothing crazy here. Strava is probably the least kind of mainstream app out of those ones. If you don't know, Strava is probably the main social media platform for kind of tracking and sharing your exercise. I think it's pretty cool. I pay for the Strava premium membership, and generally I think it's the best app available for that kind of stuff. Then I have Gmail, Google Calendar. Obviously I could put those in the Google folder, but because they're kind of two of the main apps that I like to use, I just want instant access to them from my home screen. Then I have Spotify. Everyone obviously knows what that is. In the dock area at the bottom of my home screen, I just have the phone, text messaging. I'm not really sure why I still have that, as I don't really kind of traditionally text anyone. I always use Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Then I have Google Play, Google Chrome and the camera app. Moving over to my second home screen, I have quite a lot of apps here. I haven't kept this one as kind of clean and minimal just because it's not the main one you see, so I just swipe over to the right when I want to use these apps, and these are all kind of my most used applications. This means that I don't have to go to the app drawer very often to find the different apps that I want to use, because more than likely the apps that I use are on this home screen. So starting from the top left, I have a BBC folder. This is just the various BBC apps, so BBC News, BBC Sport, BBC Weather, nothing too exciting there. Then I have OneFootball. This is my favourite app for football news. I'm really big into football. My team is Sunderland. Unfortunately, they're pretty terrible, but I can get all the football news, track games, so FA Cup matches are on at the moment. I follow my team, and then also various leagues such as the Premier League, Champions League, that kind of thing, just because then I get relevant notifications and news in the app for those leagues. Then I have a folder that I've just called Browsing. I didn't really know what to call it because all the apps are kind of similar but also very different. So I have Reddit, everyone knows what that is. Then I have Medium, which is kind of a very popular blogging format, so there's lots of interesting articles to write on there. I don't use Medium all the time. I kind of mainly use it if I'm like traveling or got a lot of time to kill just to read some articles. Then I have Pinterest. Similar to Medium, I don't use it all the time, but if I'm looking for kind of inspiration for maybe designs or different bits of work or anything really, then I'll use that. And then Behance, again, that's for design inspiration, whether that's UX design, web design, traditional graphics design, typography. It has all those kind of different designs in there. It's made by Adobe. I'm sure if you're interested in design, you've used it before, but you can find lots of cool and interesting things on here, and I really enjoy just having a scroll through it once in a while. The next app is Todoist. I actually made a video recently where I went over the different apps that I use to organise my life. Big parts of that video were about Todoist and also Notion, which is on my home screen, so I won't really talk about those in this video. If you want to know more about those two apps, then make sure you check my recent video. I'll leave a link in the description to that one. In between those two apps that I just mentioned, I have YouTube. I assume the fact that you're watching this video on YouTube now means that you're pretty familiar with what YouTube is. Then I have my banking app. Then I have a folder for my masters, so I am studying a part-time masters at the moment. So there's the Falmouth University app, which is the university I'm studying with. Then Canvas, which is like a online learning piece of software. and that's how the university shares kind of the different courses and lectures and webinar links and that kind of thing with us. And then the WordPress app, because part of my studies is actually keeping a blog and reflecting on the different kind of work I do. Having this app means that I can write directly from my phone if I want to, or if I just want to check different things that I've put on my blog quickly, I have the app available to do that. Then I have a folder for all the apps that I use for work. That includes Okta, Microsoft Outlook, and Slack. Nothing really too interesting there, it's just different apps that I need for my full-time job. Acasa, I've actually done a video on this a few months ago. It's basically an app that lets you split bills with your housemates and other expenditures you might have. If you're interested in what that app looks like, then I'll also include a link to my video on it in the description. It's a really useful app to use if you do share your living space. Then I have Google Pay, which is pretty self-explanatory, and YouTube Studio, which, if you make YouTube videos, is the main app that you use to kind of track how your videos are performing, edit things like your descriptions and titles, and it's basically a must-have if you make YouTube videos. So I'm going to quickly go into the app drawer. I'm not going to talk about every single app I have in here, but just taking a look at the most frequently used ones at the top. Things like Amazon, obviously you know what that is. Spare room, because I will be moving flat in the next couple of months, so I've been looking around at what's available in London. TikTok, bit of a guilty pleasure like many people I'm sure, especially during kind of lockdown when you've got a lot of spare time. The Canon Camera Connect app, that lets me wirelessly connect to my Canon M50. I can do like image previews, I can transfer photos directly from my camera to my phone. It's really useful, especially if I've just taken a photo that I want to share on social media. Other interesting apps that I have, 1Password, that's my favorite password manager. Depop is an app that I use quite a lot for getting secondhand clothes. It basically means you can get the more expensive labels for a lot cheaper, which I'm a big fan of, and also buying secondhand clothes is obviously a lot better for the environment and a lot better for your wallet. Figma Mobile is an app that works with the desktop version of Figma, and it means that I can preview any designs that I've made on the desktop on my phone. This is great for kind of testing the usability of a prototype for apps, and I do use it fairly frequently for things like my coursework and just other designs that I've made. Looking through the rest of my apps, I don't think I have anything too interesting. I've got the NHS COVID-19 app, just because of kind of the reality of the situation we're in now. And yeah, all my other apps are pretty standard. I don't think any of the other ones are too out of the ordinary. So that's what's on my Pixel 5. If you enjoyed this video, please do click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Follow me at JackJenkinsYT on social media. And apart from that, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.